You already sent me 99 cents. The show hasn't even started.
I know. Super chat.
Super chat for the win.
I wanted to make sure that you were, call on me and, answer any questions that I have.
Oh, Mr. Showmark Nipper, what is your question?
Well, as a matter of fact.
What did you want to know? How you doing?
Never better. How you?
I'm all right. Yeah. We're doing this thing often now.
We are. We're hanging out all the time.
Thing.
It's nice to actually do it in person now.
I'm not so sure about that.
Maybe not.
We'll see how it goes. Did you guys know that this dude and I have started a podcast?
Podcasters.
It was like we went old school.
Yeah.
We went retro.
Right. Because it's not just so cool to be a YouTuber anymore.
YouTuber.
Right.
That's all about. YouTube's like still last decade.
Are you at like 30,000 hits yet?
I hit 30.
Well, we should celebrate. Of course,
I think it's what we're planning here, isn't it?
I won't be having any of this if you're watching, Casey.
He walks in. So he walks in and he's like, "Oh yeah, by the way, I know it's a drinking show, but I'm not drinking." He tells me he's taking a year off of alcohol, which I got to say is that's awesome.
Yeah,
for you.
It's been bumpy so far. I tell you what. But my wife and I, we decided we're going to do this together, and every time that we have that, like, we send $5 to a specific account, and it's called the Disneyland Fund.
Okay.
And we're already up to over $100, I think. Right, exactly. And I imagine how much we would have been spending already. So yeah. So Disneyland's.
Well, go ahead and pour your kombucha.
Right.
So for
exactly.
Those who aren't familiar, we live in a town called Ashland, which is about the hippiest town in America.
Right.
And I'm not going to say that stuff was invented here, but it may as well have been, given how.
Well, I think that they make this out of Portland, and they have so many different flavors. I went with Strawberry-Basil today, but they have happiness and mindful, and they were totally out of abandonment issues away. I would have gotten that one, or maybe self-confidence. I would have gotten that one.
That's a good one to have.
Yeah.
I, however, am drinking Redemption High Rye Bourbon Whiskey. This is actually a very inexpensive whiskey. It's only $23 up at up at Hilt.
I had no idea this was pink.
How appropriate. I'll put this over here. I'll put it out of your way. Let's see. So anybody wants to know. No, it's not sponsored. This is not an ad. Nothing like that.
Nope.
I just happen to have bought it and kind of like it. But this is a live show. We are talking to our live audience. At least that was the idea. So we should probably see what's going on out there. Greetings and salutations, everybody. Welcome to watching live. It is awesome to see you here. We have people on YouTube and Facebook, and that's it today. But we're also out there on Twitch and Periscope and LinkedIn and anywhere else. Anyway, so what's going on today? We've got Bart saying hello, greetings, Doug Sullivan, howdy, John Roberts. How's the world according to Joseph?
I'm reading the Matt Loving, not sure about that kombucha stuff.
I don't like it.
It's good. Let's try here. Cheers.
Cheers. As long as we don't have to swap or anything.
Right. Smooth.
That is not the face you make when you drink this stuff.
Hey-o.
It's like fermented strawberries and yak milk.
You can get that at Star Wars Land, can't you?
Probably. But no, that's the blue stuff. Let's see. Elements of Being Chiropractic is saying, hey guys, well, hey guys back. Doug, Matt Loving.
That's my wife.
Texas. Bart Johnson, hello. You're listening to the podcast last night. Excellent.
Bart Johnson.
Finding it.
Nice.
That is always good news.
Review and rate. Are you supposed to do that?
What am I doing?
It's on Bart to review and rate the podcast, so we will get noticed.
Oh yes, please do. We want those ratings. We want those reviews. Especially, both of them really. Especially at this point. I'm gonna when you set it down, try not to make as much noise.
Oh.
It's a very loud smash on the table. There you go. That's better.
Nice.
Doug Sullivan, what do you think of the Sony A7 IV compared to the Lumix S1R? Well, being a Lumix ambassador, I don't think about Sony, but
is that a camera?
What do you think? You probably looked at it.
Well, I'll tell you what I think.
All right, let's.
Can you see
can do
what this is? This is the Black Magic battery eater.
The batteries. That kind of like.
Am I right, Bart? Am I right?
Let's see here. Let's do a top down. Let me
okay.
Let's move this over here. God, that is a wide shot.
It's a wide camera.
Let's.
We need to go on a diet.
I'm gonna zoom this out a little bit.
You mean I could have been taller this whole time?
No. That is not the short lens that's on there. But here, this is a crappy view of it. Yeah, I don't know.
Now look. See what I've done.
Look what you've done. You've gone and changed everything. There's. Well, he's got a Panasonic lens, so at least there's that. Actually, I kind of like this cage. It completely hides which camera is in there.
Right?
It's pretty cool.
You can't tell.
Here, we can do this. We can put it this way. I'll bring it.
Yeah.
Let me start.
There we go.
We just rig up this camera. Point this one at it.
Nice.
There we go.
See that?
Wide shot on that.
Beautiful.
All right. Now we can switch to that camera and you can see.
I was just talking to Bart when he was on his live show talking about his studio setup and how he was getting the Blackmagic Pocket 4K. Finally got it. I've shot a few things with it, and I am happy. I like this thing a lot. I mean, I still like the GH5.
Yeah, sure. Sure you do. You sold it, right?
Yeah, sold it. I still have my GH4, though.
Bastard. There it is.
I'll fly the GH4 on the Ronin because I haven't figured out how to balance this puppy on there yet.
There we go. Cable head coming.
That's for another day. Yeah, there you go.
So explain this rigging that you've done here.
So yeah, I don't have everything on here. I do have another thing that comes off of this side that holds my Shogun Inferno.
Okay.
Which, by the way, the HDMI out of this into that, I use this as a monitor, but it actually does catch a signal. So I can record a 1080p backup of what I'm getting here. Interestingly enough.
Can you normally do that?
Well, no, I haven't seen anybody talk about the fact that you can record with your Shogun because on Adamus's website, they don't actually support the Blackmagic.
Oh, I see.
Have you had that experience as well, Bart?
That's kind of lame.
Yeah, but it's only a 1080, but it's still a backup.
Right.
This is where I've got my my 500 gig Samsung T5 sitting in here.
Which is really neat, in the handle.
In the handle.
Okay, so just to make sure I understand, so you can't record on HDMI out, record to a higher bit rate, ProRes, like you can with the G series and the series?
Not that I know of, at least not with the Shogun or the Adamus recorders. Okay. So, because I don't believe they're supported. I could be wrong, correct me in the chat.
Please do. We're always looking to be corrected here. Excellent. Okay. Well, so what do you think so far? Have you actually shot anything real?
Yeah, I love it. It's been great. And the menu system is so easy. I love the fact that you can press right. Give me that. Give me that.
Close up. Sure.
Yeah, right there. This little button right here is the Sean button. Otherwise known as the focus puller right there.
Good.
And then the high frame rate button.
Story.
Right? So I hit the high frame rate and then I'm instantly, I don't have to go through the menu system to switch over to.
Okay.
And I know that you've got your setup too. You can just hit a button to go to the higher frame rate right in your GH.
No, but I don't really do it that often, so
okay.
I do it.
Well, there you go.
But yeah, okay.
Well, if you're doing weddings, which I don't like to do, I only help people do those. You want that high frame rate right there, which is nice.
Cool.
So, yeah,
Excellent. Sweet. The family chiropractic guest says that the whiskey would go good with kombucha. I ain't mixing those things yet. I'll leave that one to you.
That's my wife. She's messing with me.
Oh.
See how beautiful she is? Look at that little.
Just a little icon?
Yeah.
Oh, here,
right?
we gotta go to the full thing to show that. So I had to, because as people know, let's see, where is that screen? As people know, here we go, there. I got two chats side by side now because I can't, this screen doesn't call out the PhotoJosephs like this one does, like Bart just did right there, so I can hear that. And somebody's saying that my mic is not working.
His mic? My mic.
Oh, he's saying my mic isn't working. That's
wonk, 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 wonk.
Oh, genius. That would be because I did the courteous mute before I went into the restroom.
Oh.
Right, and I did.
So you've been on my mic this whole time.
I've been on your mic the whole time. Now people can actually hear me, which is probably a bad thing, but at least you haven't.
Maybe more whiskey.
Well, there's that. Thank you, Bart. I'm glad that he deduced that. He figured that out probably as I was turning away and went, hold on, there's something wrong here.
Right.
There you go. So anyway, what I was saying, thank you very much, sir. What I was saying was I'm going to push the wrong button, reset the whole show.
I don't even, I don't get near that thing.
You don't. Where was that? I just had it up here. There it is, I think. No. I didn't even know where it was. It was just here. God, I swear we weren't drinking before the show started.
Hello, Luca and Oliver, if you're watching. I love you, my boys.
That's sweet. Where did it go? Anyway, we have both the original YouTube screen up so that I can see as well, and that has the icons on it. So that's what he was trying to point out. He said that, and it just got me all discombobulated. Anyway, back into the chat. Let's go back to the proper page in here.
So Maryland having a few on the weekend.
Now you have to remember to come over here.
Oh, yeah, right.
This. Just when I do that. Otherwise, you can go away. Let's see here. Whiskey would go good with kombucha. Yak something. You got it, Matt. Pocket 4K. You've been using your Pocket 4K on a Moza Air 2 gimbal, and it can power the camera, so I don't have to mess with so many batteries. Lasts a few hours. Oh, that's cool. You should watch Bart's show. He's got all kinds of good info.
The Moza Air 2. Okay.
Oh, excellent.
I do watch his show.
Oh, look at that. Tom, excellent, epic beard, she's saying. Well, thank you very much, sir. I appreciate
He's been working
that,
on that for years now.
I have. It's been a while. Okay, we can take this off. We can have some space now.
Exactly.
Whew, that was short-lived.
Yeah.
So, this is one of those just whatever Q&A, chit-chat. I haven't done a live. I actually didn't do a regular show this week because I've been super busy on another project, which I wanted to do a show. But I also took Monday off because of the camping trip.
Sure.
And so, you take a day off and suddenly the week is shorter.
And then we had to record our podcast.
We did our podcast on Tuesday. That's right. And again, for those of you who haven't seen the podcast, it's everywhere now. It's on iTunes, it's on Spotify, it's everywhere. the show is called Shot Talk because we're talking about we're talking about shots like, shots, those kind of. Anyway.
Shots of kombucha, one after the other.
Shots of kombucha.
Set them up, I'll knock them down.
But it's on iTunes, so that is, of course, where most people are looking for it. So head over to iTunes, just search Shot Talk. You should find it. If you don't, for some reason, do Shot Talk and PhotoJoseph, it'll come up. But yeah, it's on there. We're super happy about that.
Yeah.
So yeah, I was, all week I've been working on, I'm going to be doing a bunch of training videos. Training videos is the wrong word. Kind of a video manual training guide for LumaFusion version 2, the new video editor, the latest version of the video editor for the iPad.
Right.
That's
gotcha.
A big project that I'm doing for the company.
So they have a new version out?
Yeah, version 2 just dropped. And the video guide that's out there is version 1, which is quite different. They actually did quite a few changes to the app, so it needs a whole new guide.
Okay.
So that's what I'm.
Good to know.
That's what I am now going to be working on.
And you would use your iPad when you're editing your stuff, right? It's a little bit easier, a little bit bigger screen.
Yeah, you can do it on the iPhone, but I like doing it on the iPad. Obviously, it's more space is nice.
Right. Very cool.
Yeah, so that's going to be a big. I'm still going to be doing the show, don't worry. But this week was kind of overwhelming, so I just didn't get to a show.
Camping and stuff.
Right, camping is good. Camping is good. Oh, look, Luke and Oliver say hi, Dad.
Oh, look at that.
Watching. Isn't that sweet?
Nice.
No, Daddy's being a good boy. I'm not.
Pink juice.
Do they like that stuff?
Oh yeah. They
like
love it.
kombucha,
Yeah, kids. I mean, I never knew what kombucha was, and these kids I can't go to the grocery store without them going, I want a kombucha.
Right.
That or coconut water. Lucas has got to get the pineapple coconut water.
That's good stuff.
Yeah. Indeed.
That it is. Tom Ole, will you be doing an S1R tutorial paid series? I'm afraid not. I'm shooting a wedding, interested in hearing your preferences for power save with S1 and S1R. Best channel around. Thank you very much. I'm not, and here's why. I get asked that probably about once or twice a month. And if I was getting asked that about 100 to 200 times a month, then I would do it. The problem is that it's a small market, obviously. There's not as many S1 users as there are GH5 users out there. And I just feel like the amount of time that I have to put into something like that, I wouldn't make the return on it. There's just not a big enough market for it. I would have to charge a lot more for the training, and I could probably charge a little bit more, but I couldn't charge, say $500 for the training. Nobody'd buy it, and I think that's what I'd have to do to make the numbers. So I'm afraid not. But I will continue, of course, to talk about it here on this show. So if there's any questions that you have on it, by all means, drop them out. Like what did you ask for? You asked about power saving. What do I do for the power saving? I don't even know. I just have it. Like all my cameras, I basically have them set to go to sleep as quickly as possible.
Oh, is that right?
Because they wake up instantly.
Yeah.
So, the screen, I don't remember what the screen's set to, but pretty much they go to sleep as quickly as possible just because they wake up right away.
Yeah. Well, that's one thing I learned about the Pocket 4K is that the battery, if you're using it internal, I was using it handheld, doing some walking around shots, and within 30 minutes, first battery was gone. And it was like it showed 30% left. But then it would go to red, 30%, go to red, 30%.
Ooh.
And because it's aftermarket, you actually get an aftermarket battery. It's not even a Canon battery that you receive.
Oh, because it's a Canon type.
Right, LP G64, 89, 105, I don't know.
Cool.
Something like that.
Sounds good.
But yeah, they last literally half an hour, maybe.
That's ridiculous.
And so I went through two. But I figured, I have a, I don't know what the name of it is, but I have something that, it's the NP battery mount, and then you can run a 2.5 millimeter off of that into a dummy battery. Or what's cool is the Blackmagic, you can do USB-C power as well if you want.
But then you can't record out to the USB-C. There's one USB-C.
Right, exactly. Yeah. Okay. So that's the thing. There's three different ways to record on there. You got the CFast, SD, and the SSD. It's a lot of little letters.
A lot of these.
And then you have the USB charging, USB connection for your SSD, and then for power, you've got. I'm lost now. There's so many different ways to connect to it.
Right.
You can do the
USB-C or
the locking lemo as well. So
got it.
Yeah. So there's options. So
it's good they give you lots of options to power since you need
exactly.
it.
Yeah, because clearly it eats batteries for lunch.
Yeah. John Robert says, I've been using LumaFusion for about a year and a bit now. I'm excited about the new changes in 2.0, but I have not explored much with it yet. Yeah, it's a nice upgrade. There's some good features in there for sure. The what is it? I think 6 tracks. I think you can do 6 tracks of 4K video in real time with keying, blends, cross dissolves in real time on an iPad Pro.
Not an iPad 2?
Probably not. But probably just like 4 on there. It's incredibly powerful.
Wow.
It really is.
Get my iPad 2 to power up.
Yeah. It is very, very powerful.
We used to only have three layers that you could put on there. Now you can put 6? Or was it 3 audio and 3?
It was, I think, 3 video and maybe 4 audio or something. Okay. I think it's 6 video. I'm not quite, I don't remember exactly, but yeah, it's a lot.
I'm looking forward to that.
Ooh, it's exciting.
Good.
It is exciting. It is very exciting. Someone had a question. I just saw it scroll by in here. Doug Sullivan
PhotoJoseph
says, "Gonna open a can of worms, I know." Ha, no such thing. But I'm really interested to know your thoughts on primes versus zooms. Oh, we'll start with you. What do you think, primes versus zooms?
Prime versus.
You got you had a zoom on there.
Right. I use primes when I'm shooting narratives, and we have the time we're setting up the scene, we're working on the lighting, and we can make our stylistic choices with the lenses then. But when I'm running and gunning and doing stuff where I'm doing interviews and then shooting B-roll on the same day, it doesn't make sense for me to be swapping out lenses all the time. And I'm clumsy. I'll drop them. And so I don't like that idea. I like to leave, the lens on there. So I've been considering getting the Sigma 18 to something, whatever that is. People seem to like that, but I have to get the adapter.
Well, you're going to want the new Lumix 10 to 25.
That's what I was talking about.
Which I hope to have soon. I know everybody's.
Which means I'll have it soon.
Yeah, about that. Back when you shot GH5.
Yeah, I know. I'm glad he actually let me in here. He actually had to stop at the door.
It's only because you had the Panasonic lens on.
Right.
At least it's still that.
in here, exactly. Yeah.
No, that lens will be the one that you would want instead of the Sigma. I mean, the Sigma is still a great choice, but like you said, you have to adapt it.
Indeed.
And not having to adapt it, there's
Sure.
benefits. It is, with the Sigma adapted because of the focal reducer, it is ever so slightly faster still, but I think for most people it's the convenience, the autofocus, the size and weight of it is smaller, lighter. Although it is a big lens, but it's surprisingly light from whatever.
Well, and we were talking about that in the podcast, how people are using the new Ronin SC and with the mirrorless cameras, but they're having these huge lenses and having to push it way back, and so you can't get this tilt because it's hitting the turnbuckle, and so I don't even know if it's called the turnbuckle, but you know what I'm talking about. Probably not. So that's the issue. So Micro Four Thirds is supposed to be a smaller lens, bigger focal length. So what do you think though about primes and zooms?
I generally almost always go for primes because I don't like variable aperture for one. So I always want to have a fixed aperture. Fixed aperture zooms are, of course, more expensive, bigger. Although, I mean, you look at the 12 to 35 and the 70 and the 35 to 100, that pairing, f2.8 all the way through, for Micro Four Thirds, they're brilliant and they're tiny and they're awesome lenses. But I find in general, this goes back to long before I was shooting video, back when I was shooting just photography still, I always preferred primes because the way that I think about photography, when I've got a zoom lens and it's easy to recompose by just zooming, I tend to be less engaged in the shot. Whereas if I have a prime lens on and I want to get closer or farther, I have to physically move closer or farther. And what I always tell people about using primes is zoom with your feet. I'm sure you've heard this expression before, zoom with your feet. But the thing that I tell people is once you do that, you're engaging,
I got it.
Ladies and gentlemen, you're engaging another part of your brain because you have now physically moved, so suddenly another part of your brain has gone, oh, must turn on now, and by doing that you tend to go, oh, and just even in that step you might, parallax changes, you might see something you didn't see and like, oh, not only is it better closer, it's also better half a step to the left, things that you don't get when you're zooming. So for that reason, I particularly prefer primes, and I don't mind carrying, unless I'm just trying to go really lightweight and I just want a camera and lens and I just don't want to deal with it, fine. But even then, quite often, I'll go with a prime lens and just deal with it. I've done a lot of trips where I've just had a 50 mil equivalent or 35 mil equivalent, and that's it. And that's all I have, and it is what it is.
Well, actually, I just had a shoot where I had just the 25 millimeter, and I was walking around, and you're right. Focus with your legs. I learned that today.
Zoom with your feet, but
focus with your.
You can zoom with your feet. You could focus with your legs too if you wanted to. I mean, that kind of works.
Right?
Yeah, that kind of works.
But I got some great stuff, especially that focus button on there. Boom.
The focus button's awesome. I wanted to show
Sean button.
A favorite combination with prime.
All right. In the meantime, let me see.
I'm abandoning you.
I don't even know where we're at. PhotoJoseph Sean. I picked up a bunch of power cable from Alvin's.
There we go.
Cables Amazon DTAP. Ah, nice. Good call.
This is still one of my favorite all-time.
Definitely not a turnbuckle. Yeah, but it's a good name.
It's a great word. Oh, I love the word, but it's not a turnbuckle.
Turnbuckle.
A turnbuckle is a buckle that turns.
Oh.
No, a turnbuckle
you have those on your.
Turnbuckle is one of those things where you got two threads of maybe a hook or eye loops on either end and a spinning widget in the middle, and it's threaded on both ends. And as you spin the widget, it pulls both of them together or pushes them apart.
Now, Isn't widget like the word Smurf? A widget means anything that you want it to mean, right?
Smurf means a small blue creature that.
Yeah, but they say this is Smurf. Smurf this, right? So.
Right, you have like young kids. So this is still one of my all-time favorite combinations right here. So obviously Micro Four Thirds. This is the Lumix GX85 with the 15mm f1.7 Leica lens. This is so tiny and so lightweight and so good. I have done a lot of work with this combination, and I absolutely love it. And it weighs nothing.
I like that lens a lot.
It's a great lens. So if you're looking for, like, if you don't have any primes and you're looking for your first prime, assuming you like wides, you're not looking for something long, that one, yeah, real winner. I've done shows on this before. If you search the YouTube channel, just do PhotoJoseph, and then 15mm f1.7, you'll find it. Yeah, I did a video on that for a while ago. That's really popular. That's
nice.
Love that combination.
I was looking for the Optimus Prime.
That's another good prime. Yeah. It is. I like that one too.
Yeah.
Yeah. Little expensive. A little out of this world in
Right,
price.
exactly. Yeah, out of this. He's from another world. Anyway. Yeah, where are we at here?
Let's see.
Zooms, neglect the effects of focal length compression and parallax. Bart's
just getting all
typing
technical
away.
and stuff on us. Man,
Sheesh.
what is that? Let's see here. Should we do this? Put this
Somebody
back
was
up so
talking about,
people
I
can
want to
see
switch from beer to whiskey. Where was that one at?
Beer, I don't know.
further.
Someone said something about beer earlier. That was a good. Yeah, what are you guys drinking? It is drinking hour everywhere unless you go that way.
Right.
Which way is New York? That way. So unless you're going that way, whatever. It's beer drinking time, or whiskey or wine.
Yeah.
All right, let's see. I use primes because I'm stubborn. I like to say back in my day part. I also only use full manual lenses for the most part. Well, there you go.
That was a good can of worms.
Bart's talking about it's the roll motor that he's talking about.
Motor.
That works
Right.
too. What is that
Exactly.
sound?
I tell you, it's like we're living in Texas. You got those cicadas going or something.
What is going on? There's something going on. That's weird.
We have cicadas here.
It's louder
We have
than
to be in
usual.
Texas.
Oh no, that's something else. That's not my system. That's something outside, or the neighbors.
Bracketing versus expensive filters.
This is not how this is supposed to work.
This is disconnected.
It did. It just popped off my earbud. Saying neglecting there is a bad thing. I'm saying neglecting those. Bart is talking about neglecting things. Neglecting primes. I use primes for the reason because that's what I've been using for 25 years. That's a good reason. All right, let's go back to the full screen so we're not looking at half of you.
Right.
Bracketing versus expensive filters. Okay, please elaborate on your question, Superjet 2771. I would like to understand what you mean. Randy says, what's your go-to focal length while on a glide cam? That's more for you. I don't like glide cam or gimbal or something like that, I suppose.
I used to like when I had my GH5, well, this one right here.
The 12 to 60?
Yep. I mean, I just use this for all kinds of stuff.
Dude, it's a nice lens.
Yeah.
That's the 12 to 60 Leica version. The Leica version of the 12 to 60. It's variable aperture though. It's 2.8
Right,
to
it's a
f4.
4, yeah.
But it's 60mm f4, and it's 120mm equivalent. That's not bad at all.
Yeah. And this
it's
thing
a good lens.
is great in low light too. I mean, it's got dual ISO, like the S1 as well.
What are the dual natives?
400 and 32.
Okay. Wow. 32. Good. Cool.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So,
It's a popular camera. People like it.
yeah.
There you go. Excellent. So,
Shooting stuff.
but I would say I would usually go a bit wider on. I've never used a glide cam specifically, like a gimbal. I usually go a bit wider, like a 15.
Glide cam, you're probably doing something, weddings or real estate, probably, right? So you would want a wide
yeah.
lens as possible. So
Plus, it's just
11 to 16.
depth of focus. Depth of field's not as shallow. It's a little bit easier to keep things in focus when you're bouncing around.
Yeah.
And I say 15 on a Micro Four Thirds, so 30mm equivalent
Yeah,
in full frame.
it's hard to do shallow depth of field when you're on a gimbal or something that's you're moving around.
yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
John Roberts confirming 15mm. It's a great focal length. It really is.
Indeed.
It's a good one. It's a good one. All right, I like that Facebook sends those messages through. So that's kind of cool.
Yeah.
I dig that. We've seen the messages from the Facebook. Oh, they're showing up. Oh, they show up over here as well. So I can use
What's
the
the R
Facebook,
mean?
the YouTube
okay.
chat.
Restream bot.
Restream bot is restreaming here. Okay, let me figure this out again because
Has that ever done that before?
Yeah, no, it does. But I don't usually look at that window. Where is that?
You're always looking at the blue window.
Right.
That doesn't have people's happy faces.
That's the one. What happened to just that screen? I had it a minute ago.
Is it that one?
Don't touch. It's gonna break everything.
I want to touch it.
Prep for no guest or chat only. That's the one. Okay. So this is what I was trying to tell you guys earlier. So this is the Restream chat app, and it shows the aggregated chats. but I have this little bot turned on that feeds the chats back in. See, there's the Restream bot. It feeds the chats back into everybody, so everybody sees everybody's chat. So I can go back to using this one, because then I can see the highlights when people call my name, and I can see, most importantly, the super chats. Which, Sean Mark Dimper, why don't you explain to our fabulous audience exactly what a super chat is and how they should use it?
Well, if you want to be seen and heard at the same time, is that right?
Sure, why not?
You put up a super chat, and you can see it's all beautiful blue right there.
Beautiful blue.
I think that depends on how much you throw at it. Will depend, or it'll leave it on the screen for longer, right?
Correct.
So you go
Correct.
$100, it's going to be on there for a while. So go ahead and drop $100 from now. We'll split it, and we're going to go to I'll tap it something, and have.
We're going to go to Hilton and spend all that money on me.
Right. Oh man. And so yeah, so super chat, you get called out, we can see you, and then your question will most definitely be answered if he knows the answer, or if I.
We'll make it up. So it's, you click on this thing right here. I can't because it's my chat. But anyway.
But I had a free one, so I'd send it to you.
Wow, thanks.
I wanted you to know how much I love you.
Love me. You gave me your free money. That's awesome.
On my gimbal with the Pocket 4K, Bart Johnson Production says, I usually use the Snyder full frame 25mm at a 71 speed booster, shooting in 4K and delivering in 1080. Lets me do a little punch in if it's too wide. Okay. Yeah.
So 25, so times 0.7 times 2. Right?
Do you have an offset plate for that, Bart?
25, so I'm going to do the math on that. 25 times 0.71 times 2, so that's a 35mm equivalent in full frame. Yeah, nice. That's it's good focal length. See, like I said, like 30 to 15 mil, I would use that.
Yeah.
I would use this too because it's so lightweight. You can do anything like that. You don't want it to be any heavier than it has to be.
Yeah.
That's pretty awesome. John Roberts is throwing VW bugs at something. I'm not quite sure what he's throwing them at, but duck.
Is that a new emoji?
Which one?
You have to write it out.
That'd be great. And one day you will put anything you want in as an emoji with like brackets around it or something, and an AI will convert it into an emoji for you, probably with your face.
Right. Well, they're already doing that with the some emojis that you see me send, because I have iOS 13 on my phone. Crazily, yeah, me-emojis, yeah. Right. My face and with the head exploding, which is usually all the time.
It's appropriate.
Yeah.
Bart's saying use the cheese plate to shift the camera to balance it. There you go.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
Okay.
So, Chief, why don't you explain what a cheese plate is? That's not a term I'm sure a lot of people are familiar with.
So, if you are making quesadillas for your children, it's this thing, which I do often. Cheese plate is just something that has the quarter 20s and different mounting options, so you can use that in different ways. You can add your audio equipment to it or whatever. You can add V-mount plates to it depending on what you're using. But cheese plate, you can create offsets or add more to your rig if you need. There's all kinds of different various sizes and shapes of cheese plates.
That is true.
Yeah.
Excellent. Just like when you go to the Mexican restaurant, you can get the small, medium, or large quesadillas.
Exactly. Yeah. Some come with hummus.
Circle.
Yeah.
I don't know. It's Ashland. I forgot. Okay. So Superjet said, I've always taken the time to slap on a soft gradient to save my skies, but lately I found exposure bracketing to be quicker and better. So I'm assuming you're talking about still photography then. Yeah. In stills, I would, that reminds me, I want to show something. In stills, I would just fix it in post. I mean, if you got a good sensor with capturing a lot of dynamic range, then just throw a gradient on it in post.
Fix it in post.
It's much easier, honestly, a bit more control over it. But if you want to do it, because if you're bracketing, then you got to blend between the shots, and you're shooting raw, so you probably don't need to. Let's switch places. I want to pull up a shot. I was going to do a dedicated video on this, and I just haven't. Okay. I was actually thinking, I was really going to plan to do this today. I was going to plan to do this today. How's that sound for?
Sounds good.
Not really.
What's this one do?
Get off my buttons. I want to show the incredible flexibility. Now, this was shot with the S1, the photo I'm about to show you. But I pretty much do this with the G series as well. What am I looking for? Oh, that's on impersonal, that's why. I'm looking through my Lightroom library. I'm trying to find the right album. There we go, 2019, and it was that Portrait Slam, and which model was that? That was Kenna.
Portrait Slam,
yes, right. Here we go. So let's use probably, this.
Portrait Slam.
There we go.
Check our podcast. We talked about the Portrait Slam.
We did. So if you want to know what a Portrait Slam is, you're going to have to tune into the podcast. We'll explain it all there. Okay. Let's see here. I've got a preset for this where I can keep me on screen and go to the iPad as well. Didn't think about doing this today.
Help open close? No.
I've moved them around because where's one? This is iPad. Oh well,
I can't do that.
I always crop picture in picture. No,
I can't even move the shampoo bottle in the shower.
In here. That's okay. I'll just do this. We'll just go. We're not going to see me. Okay. So the photo that you're looking at right now is the setup to a planned shot. I'm intending to shoot multiple strobes. Have a strobe behind her. I'm going to have a strobe in front of her. I think it's just the two. Yeah, just the two. So strobe behind her, strobe in front of her. We're in this big warehouse. It's essentially pitch black. I mean, there's enough light so you don't bump into the walls, but that's about it. And I'm building the shot. So this first shot here, you're seeing just the backlight. And this is a preliminary test with it. And I think, there's probably a couple of these. There's what looks like one where the flash didn't fire at all. So all that you're seeing here is the illumination of the background. You can see if I zoom in, you got the red light on the back of her head there. And that's it. And the rest of her is basically pitch black, and that's all there is. And that's fine, right? I was just setting it up to test, to get the first light set up, and then I was gonna add the blue light in the front. So I'm flipping through these pictures the other day, and I come across this one, and I don't even know why I did this, I was about to reject it, just throw the shot away, because it's obviously a throwaway. And I thought, I wonder how much shadow detail I can pull out of this shot. Now keep in mind, this is shot on the full frame S1. Okay, now watch this, you ready for this? I'm gonna go to the exposure slider, and let's take it up, and open it up a little bit, and open it up a little bit, and open it up a little bit, and open it up a little bit.
What the?
5 stops open.
Holy crap.
Look at that. Look at that. That's just, it's crazy. Add a little noise reduction to this at this point. Let's see here. Go to detail, add a little bit of noise reduction onto there, and massively underexposed pure black photo. But look at all that detail that's in there.
Holy Moses.
Holy moly Moses. I probably still should do a little video on that just to release it, just to go look at this.
You should. My
isn't
God.
that kind of, right? Kind of impressive.
Start bugging about the S1. He'll shoot a whole course on that and charge you lots of money.
So there you go. I hope that you guys appreciate that. I was blown away by that. And I'm sure part of the reason, I keep thinking that if I do a video, I'm going to get all kinds of responses of people going, well, my Sony does that. I'm like, I don't care. I'm just impressed at what, I mean, maybe your iPhone can do that. It just blew me away that it was that good. I kind of like that.
Yeah.
Anyway, Super Chat says, my skies are so much more blue when I bracket. Okay, I shoot raw with the G9. Well, there you go. Then do it that way. I mean, whatever works for you, right? If you're shooting, so then you're blending between 2 exposures, and you've compared just taking that shot and dragging the exposure down to make the sky darker, please verify. I'd love to know that. There you go. Bar says, now make it shoot photos like that 60 times in a second. I can do like 12, I think, or 10. I forget what that camera does, but maybe not 60. That's a bit much.
Right.
It's a bit much. You always want more, Bart. You always asking for more. Always asking for more. All right, let's see what else is going on here. Anything else in the chat that we have ignored? John's still got to explain throwing VW bugs at things. I don't quite understand.
I don't get it. Those VW bug.
Oh, Bart says it's a filmmaking Lego brick. He's talking about the cheese plate.
Oh, right, exactly,
I think
you can use it for anything.
There you go, you can. You can. Anything else? What else is going on today? Who else wants to? Oh, here I know. I'll show you something else I just released. For those of you using Lightroom, I just released this article today. This is another thing that I ended up spending a bunch of time on this week. Here we go. So this is an article on how to reconnect missing originals in Lightroom CC. This is specifically CC. I probably should put that in there. The whole point here is that if you have transitioned from Lightroom Classic to CC, you may have missing originals. It's a whole convoluted process of how you got there, but I think it's probably not that uncommon. So I did an article on how to fix that. So if you're using Lightroom CC and you had migrated your library from Lightroom Classic or part of a library or anything, just read this article because it'll tell you how to search to see if you even have the problem, because you may have it and not realize it.
You may have it. You may need to see a doctor.
I was waiting for some connection like that to come up. I knew it was going to happen. I knew if I waited long enough,
check your doctor.
It'd be there.
If this was right for you.
I knew it. John says, depending on how much you threw at the super bar. Oh, super chat is probably super chat.
Right.
You can throw a VW bug at the super chat. That's cool.
I get it now.
I still don't, but that's
because the computer broke because he threw the bug and it's like,
the super chat.
I think they're stopping the production of those. The bugs. They're not going to make those anymore. Yeah.
Huh.
Yeah.
Sad. Cute cars.
I'll take a 73 if you're going to throw one. A bug, 1973. It's like the sunroof and everything.
Cool. Is that? That's
I used to have one,
actually.
Is that right?
It
73.
is.
I'm older than you.
I know.
I mean, I look it, but
Not after a year of not drinking. You're going to drop 10 years off your life.
Right.
You are. You can be skinny, and your skin's going to look great.
Exactly.
And I'm going to be like, woo.
Man.
Well, of course, that kombucha is probably taking years off your life. I don't know what that's doing.
It's probably killing us. This whole thing, like, remember, soy milk was such a good idea, and then they found out that gives man. I'm not going to get into that right now, but there's all kinds of things that are bad for you that we think that are.
Everything in moderation, except whiskey.
Right.
Bart says you got to catch up on the drink. Yeah, but it's just kombucha, so it doesn't really count.
What were you saying again, Bart? Put that down. You want to switch over from beer to whiskey? What was that? Type that again. It's long gone now.
John Robert says, yes, they are officially stopping production of the bug. Man, that's a shame.
Right.
It's a great car.
You would throw your last bug at us, John Roberts? Oh, thank you for that.
Well, you could throw money instead. That's okay, too. We take it.
Yeah. Yeah.
Cool.
He splits all of his super chats with me the days that I'm on his show, so that 99 cents
that you gave me, I got to give you half of that back.
Exactly.
After taxes, here's your nickel.
Right, exactly. I give this to my children. I'll split it 2 ways.
Bart says, I'd love to switch from beer to whiskey with you guys, but I still need to prep for my show tomorrow. Got to shoot a thumbnail and everything. There you go.
Oh, so you're drinking beer right now. He's knocking back a few, but if he switches to whiskey, then he would be in trouble.
And Francisco on Facebook says cheers.
Cheers.
Well, cheers to you.
Yeah. Is that a slobbering emoji?
Is it? That is kind of a slobbery. Oh, it is. Oh, look, it looks better over here. That's funny, the way that different systems render the emojis differently. You see on the left there, the Facebook one, it's got a lovely slobbery, and the Google one on the right is
It's like the Android version of the emojis.
It is, right, because it's Google, so it's the Android.
Yeah.
It's kind of weird. I don't know about that. That's not a nice one. It's funny because when I did the thumbnail for this, can I pull this up without sending the graphic on? Probably not.
After you do that, I have a question for you.
I put the little whiskey glass on the thumbnail for today, and I was looking. I wanted to use the emoji because it's a good emoji, and it's so funny. There's emoji? What's this website? Emojipedia, I think. Emojipedia.org. Has here, I'll just pull it up here. Has basically a list of all the emojis. So you can go in here and you type one in, I say whiskey, and it shows. Let that load here. After it loads 1,500 ads. I guess I have to choose the right one. There we go. So we see all the different like Apples and Googles and Microsofts.
I like the Microsoft one because I've got the mold for that.
That's funny.
The perfect. Perfect.
What's like all these different ones? It's so cool. Emojidex has an empty glass. What is wrong with them? That's messed up, yo.
Post drinking?
Some of them are putting ice in them, some of them are not. And it's kind of cool. And if you click on it, it'll show you the previous generations of it, if there are previous generations. And then if you need the full graphic, you can just right-click and open image in your tab, and then you've got the full-size image to use.
I love that.
It's kind of cool. But Emojipedia, it's been useful if I needed to get the graphic. Yeah.
That's a perfect segue to my next question. So you have the iPhone 10.
I do.
Without a case. You've had it for all this time.
Almost 2 years now, yeah.
Without a case.
Yep.
No broken glass.
No broken glass. I've got...
you got scratches on there.
I have 2 very slight scratches. Actually, 3.
Only you know
the ones
about
here and here. There's one on the side there that came up recently. I have no idea where that one came from. But the first 2 little ones I got on, I think, day 2 of having the phone.
Oh man, that's been a long time.
I know. It's like it's like a new car. You get a new car, and it's going to get scratched.
Bonk. Yeah, exactly. So my question is.
Oh, I was going to finish.
Go ahead.
That's okay. But the scratch because I had set it down, screen down, and I think my kid did this with it. It was on my coffee table, and I was like, that's probably a bad idea. And I picked it up and going, oh my god. There we go.
I'm surprised that didn't scratch your coffee table.
Here. I was making sure that it was clean. Anyway, so what was your actual question?
So I have the 10S Max, XS, MAX, whatever.
Tennis. You have the tennis bracelet one,
yeah.
Right?
Right.
Tennis
bracelet.
Right.
Exactly. I never thought of that. I don't know if I'm going to be switching to the new ugly one. I mean, the new 11.
Why are people so down on calling it so ugly? I mean, okay, it's got a. I mean, maybe.
Steve
obviously
Jobs
we're talking about.
is flopping over right now. He's like,
I'm sure. No doubt.
I can't believe. But will you be switching to the 11 since you skipped the S?
Skip the S, right? So that would be my normal cycle, probably. But I am waiting to see what actually happens. And I say that because, so when this came out, I very much felt like I wanted. I did a big show on it, and I wanted to get it first. And we went through all this trouble to get it early, but a day before it, or not get it early, but get it the day of.
Yeah.
I drove up to Medford to go to the UPS to actually get it from there
I
right
love
early.
doing that.
Right, so planned all that.
Not waiting.
But what really pissed me off was that, the week before, say, it was like 4 or 5 days before, suddenly the biggest YouTubers started releasing videos on it because Apple had seeded them, which is obviously brilliant for Apple. But for me, I'm going, I want to be one of the first to do a show on it.
Yeah.
But then, because in the past that's never happened.
Right.
You know, the previous phone, whatever, the 7 or whatever before that I got, I did that, and I was one of the first, and it was great. So I can no longer use that as an excuse to get the phone early.
Right.
Right. And so, if it has an epic camera, if the cameras really are something special, then sure. But if the cameras really aren't that exciting and there's nothing else really significant about it, then maybe not. Maybe I'll wait. I don't know. Because I mean, this phone is perfectly fine. It's crazy awesome, actually. But there you go. What about you? Are you going to upgrade?
I probably not. I'm happy with this, and I own this Moment case. It was $40, and so to be able to use my lenses on the new one, which will probably be interesting because I get to use 2 focal lengths with the Moment lenses here, which looks like you'll be able to use 3 focal lengths on the new iPhone 11.
Right.
But the problem with that is this phone, the telephoto lens from Moment, they had to remake it for this phone. I have the telephoto lens that works for the 10, and so the 60 millimeter, they made a 56 millimeter telephoto, and so I'll probably have to re-update.
Do you know what it
lenses.
is about the lens in here that changed, that made them have to change their lens?
I'm not exactly sure, but I know that they did that, and so I technically don't have the right telephoto lens for Moment for.
But what happens if you put it on there?
I mean, it works, but I think.
You have the netting or something?
I don't know if it's a cash grab, but no, not really. I mean, I don't see it.
Right.
But
okay.
Evidently, that's something. So I would imagine that there would be a whole new set of lenses that are coming out for the 11 that I have to get, and a new case. So I'm just going to roll with this and my 3 Moment lenses that I have, and I'm happy with the camera. I think it's brilliant.
Oh, yeah.
So, yeah.
Interesting. Yeah, I used to have the plus size, right? So the plus, when I had, what was the previous phone?
7.
I had the 7.
Yeah.
Right, so I had the 7 Plus. And it's so funny, I'll never forget when I first opened that box, my reaction to how big it was. I'm just like, oh my God, I've made a huge mistake here. Right, this is like, insane.
Oh my God, yeah.
And the only reason that I felt it was okay to get a phone that big was because I knew that for most of the day, I don't actually have it in my pocket. Right. It's sitting on my desk or something.
Sure.
And because I had the Apple Watch, I knew it's okay, right? It might even be in a bag or something, and that's okay because I got the watch. Anyway, but I got very used to that size very quickly. And then when the 10 came out, because this is the first 10, there was no plus size. I was a bit disappointed at that, but it was like, okay, well, it's somewhere between the two, so it's okay.
Actually, it does fit in your hand well, and the screen is the same size as the 7.
Well, that was the thing that did kill me, and this still does irritate me. So on the plus size,
the notch.
So on this one, no, I can't the notch. I mean, it's stupid, but whatever. On the plus size, I guess the same one here, but the 7. When you go landscape, I could open, because I do a lot of stuff in spreadsheets and numbers, and I could open a number spreadsheet and actually do stuff on it on the 7 Plus. On the 10, because it's so narrow, you go sideways, and you basically have all these toolbars, and like 2 rows of data. And that's it. I'm going, that really annoyed me. Yeah. And then I did some comparisons side by side, just looking at web pages and realizing I wasn't actually seeing any more data on the web. I was like, I was kind of disappointed. Yeah. But comparisons aside, now that I've been using this for 2 years,
does this feel
the size
too big?
Is great. Well, you got this monstrous case on there, so that I don't like, but it does feel big. It is big. Ooh,
don't show the gold. Oh, God, no. It's the only one they had at 128 gigs. I didn't need the 512 for Christ's sake.
So. It's not crazy big, but see, and I usually have mine in my back. That sticks out of the back pocket now, and I usually carry it in the back pocket. The little one sometimes I'll put in the front, but I don't know. I don't know if I'll go back to the big. I do like this size.
Is that driving nuts?
Really, that is.
How could they not?
Just.
Why? Now the 11
now
looks
that
like
Johnny's gone.
Well, yeah, maybe.
Now that Johnny's gone,
do you think Johnny effed this up?
Yeah, probably.
What's your opinion, everybody?
I wonder. Yeah, is that Johnny's fault? Is the wobble? Is that Johnny's fault? Because every single human being on Earth who has ever used one of these says the same thing. Make it, 1.5 millimeters thicker. Yeah. Make the battery that much bigger so it doesn't wobble. We don't care. It doesn't have to be the thinnest phone ever.
It doesn't.
Nobody cares. So annoying. Are you guys hearing the static? I'm getting a bunch of static feedback. I'm wondering if you're hearing it. It's probably your cheap-ass mic because you forgot the good mic.
Right, I forgot my good one.
Good job. Yeah. Let us know if you're hearing the static. Hopefully it's just me missing you. Anyway, so there's my thought on the wobble and the. I would love to see that the next phone is flush. Yeah. That
it looks like it is more flush, like way more flush.
It doesn't matter if it's not flush; it wobbles.
Yeah,
like any wobble's bad. Bart says I should wait for the Hydrogen 2. Hell no.
The Hydrogen 1, man. People are. Did you see the Linus video about that? He just ripped it apart.
Did he?
Yeah.
No, I just read this article about how the Hydrogen 2 is being released because all the maybe a manufacturer, whatever, but they were supposed to make accessories for the Hydrogen 1 have failed miserably, and they can't fix it, so they're just starting over and going for the Hydrogen 2. And they're going to have a very helpful program for those who already have the Hydrogen 1.
Nice.
Yeah, sure.
Yeah, Linus Tech ripped it to pieces. And Jim Gennard, is that the guy from Red? Yeah, he is actually blaming all of the manufacturers for why the Hydrogen 1 is not up to snuff, whatever that means. So, yeah. I was thinking about it. Interesting, in Linus's video, they sent him one, but it wasn't the titanium one. And they had a little note that say, hey, sorry, we didn't send you the titanium one, but we're going to send you another one later. So he got 2 phones for the price of 1, but they still weren't the ones that he wanted. But, whatever, that's nice of them to do that, I guess.
Well, probably a warehouse full of them anyway. Nobody bought them.
True.
Yeah.
True.
Bart says, don't know if you guys have talked about this anywhere, but how are you setting up the podcast recording? We have talked about it. We did it in the last live show. We can talk about it again.
Sure.
I think it's really cool. We are using Anchor. So Anchor.fm, and the only reason I know about that is Casey Neistat's, Couples Therapy podcast. They're doing that. And the whole thing about Anchor that makes it awesome is they distribute everywhere for you. You basically either record directly into the app or upload your files, and they handle all the distribution. Now, that said, something got screwed up with the iTunes distribution, so it took so long to get onto iTunes because I had to end up taking ownership of it and submitting it myself to iTunes, and that was a whole cluck that we won't get into, but that is now resolved. So at least there's that. But the whole Anchor thing does all the distribution, which is great.
How are you today, Mr. Joseph?
It's our podcast.
He's playing the podcast.
Stop. We only have 2 episodes on iTunes right now.
No, they're all there, aren't they?
Are they?
They should be. It's just the 2 most recent. Go look in the previous.
Stop.
And stop playing it. So we're using Anchor.fm. Now, part of the thing is I was super into the Anchor thing because I thought that we could record directly into the app. And you can. However, you can only record directly into the app using the microphone on your phone or a couple of possibly maybe select microphones that plug into your iPad or iPhone, but probably not most of them.
Can't even use the Yeti, right?
Right. No, the wording on it is super vague, and I plugged in some mics and nothing worked. And so I wanted to do that because it would allow us to obviously do this easier. The whole thing of doing this, it has to be easy. If it's not easy, then we're never going to do it. Forget it. So we got partway into the process and realized that we actually started recording our first show. And I'm going, man, your mic sounds terrible, Sean. He said, but I just tested it. It sounded great. And it took a while, but we figured out that when he thought he was using his really good mic, plugged into an interface into his phone, right? You were just using your phone.
The phone, yeah.
But once he actually hit record, it was just using the internal mic on the phone. So that was silly.
Silly.
So what we ended up doing, and this is actually a remarkably clean process. And now that we've done it a few times, I mean, I had this week's show up, an hour after we recorded it was up.
Unbelievable, yeah.
So we use Zencastr to do the recording. So if you're not familiar with Zencastr, actually, I'll just pull it up here and I'll show it to you. If you're not familiar with Zencastr, it is designed for podcast recording. And here we go. So this is Zencastr. And, let me just log in here real quick. Do that first. Oh, password's already in there.
Nice.
The whole idea behind Zencastr is it's designed to handle multiple call-ins. So I go in here and I create a new episode. We'll just call this test. And once this is up, you can see it's already hearing me, but that's just through this computer. But if this isn't the right computer, but I could choose the mic source on here. And then I can invite people to this. So I send people this link, and they can then connect to this. They're not dialing in on the phone. They're not using Skype. It's a whole VoIP thing on its own system. They connect to it, we can hear each other, and we record. But here's the real joy of this system. It is not being recorded on my end, recording any potential distortion that's happening because of internet and because of, internet. it is recording everybody's calling in. It is recording their signal on their computer locally. So it's a pre-internet bandwidth issue signal. And then as soon as you hit stop, it uploads the recording as a MP3 file, or if you're paying for the service, as we are, as a WAV file.
Yeah.
So that's step one. That's just super awesome. But then it has to be mixed. Well, Zencastr has a mixing service, and this is part of what we're paying for as well,
right,
where you basically hit auto mix. Well, here, I guess I can, let me do this. I can show this to you.
Let's do
on
it.
An old show. So we'll go back to a previous recording and go into the recording. Here we go. I say automatic post-production. I choose them. So see, there's the MP3 and the WAV. So I choose our 2 WAV files. And then I can choose the final LUFS level, and we're doing just -19, standard for podcast. It'll automatically level when they should be level, but this will automate it. You can disable or enable a noise gate. I always turn it off, a cross gate, and you can get separate wave tracks of the final mix down, which I don't need. And then I just hit run post-production, and probably within 10 minutes, it's done. And now I've got an MP3 file that I can upload to Anchor.
Don't they have a selection for 99 LUF balloons?
Actually pretty good.
Thank you.
I like that.
I had a little bit of time to work on that while you were
that.
Cheers. 99 LUFs.
Nina Hagen, my friend. Nina Hagen. So that system has worked out really, really well. Now you'll notice too, go back into this again, we have multiple recordings. So every show, so this is a show, you hit new recording and it creates a new recording, which creates a new set of files. So the first one is just a test. We just do a test one. And then this is the first half of the show. It should be the first half of the show and second half of the show. We should only ever see 3 recordings total. I'll tell you why we do it in halves in a moment. But this has extras because I accidentally hit stop, and so we had to re-record. That was a big goof.
Yeah.
And then we re-recorded an ad, so that's why there's 5 recordings on there.
Right.
But the reason we do separate recordings, we do a pre-ad and a post-ad recording, is this is one of the other beautiful things on Anchor, is Anchor allows you to build in an ad break, and then they will sell ad space, I guess, for you. Once, obviously you have to be bigger than we are now, but once you've got some traction, they say, oh, we've got an advertiser that's interested in your show, this is what they're offering, and if you accept it, then you record an ad for them. But you don't have to record the ad into the show. You record the ad separately. So we say, oh, here's an ad for blah, blah, blah bourbon. And we record the ad, and then they insert that. So we have, when we upload it, we have first half of the show, an ad break, and the second half of the show. And whenever there's an ad that's being paid for, then they just insert that ad. And when the ad pay runs out, then they just don't insert it anymore, which is really, really neat.
And then we get paid.
And then we get paid. Now, what they do is they build Anchor. They let you do an ad for Anchor itself. So that's what we have now, is an ad for Anchor itself.
So we can get something in there.
Yeah. So we've earned like 28 cents, which is awesome.
Sweet. Split that 2 ways. Plus tax.
That'll buy
Yeah.
Bing.
There you
go. That's it. There's your 28 cents. Which is really neat. I think it's a really nice system, and it really is dead easy.
Well, and it made it so easy because we don't have to be, either of us, working on the post-production aspect of it. We don't add any music or any sound effects. We add a little bit of music to the ad, but you do that, and it's all done once we hit end and send. And
that said, you can actually, so in Zencastr, you can do music. So if we go, see, I don't know if you can hear this or not. No, you can't. It's not set up that way. Actually, you might just hear it through the...
Yeah, drums and ballpark.
You can kind of hear it. It's just coming through my... Oh, there we go. So you have these different loops that you can add into here so that you can play those during the recording, and those get mixed in, which is a little dangerous, but they do get mixed in, so you can do that. But then in Anchor, you can actually add music on there as well, but then it's re-outputting an MP3 file, so it's a second generation MP3, so probably not a good idea. But if you really wanted to, you could do that. So anyway, that's it. I love it. I think it's really great.
Super fun.
And it's $20 a month, I think, for Zencastr for all the services that we're using. So yeah, I dig it.
How many listeners do we need to make back to $20?
A lot more than we've got right now, but it's a passion project.
Share it with your friends. Yeah.
Share it with your friends. Tell a friend. Listen to the show. It's a great show. I hope you guys enjoy it. Please, please, please do. There we go. Okay, what else? They are getting a little bit of static, but I think it's a position thing. I'm just make sure we don't turn the wrong way. It's definitely your mic pack interfering with mine. John Roberts, just that. Philip Scenes says hello. Well, hello, Philip Scenes. And Bart says that's pretty cool. It is cool, right? I think so too. I think so too. All right. What else we got going on? Anything else? Anything else you wanted to talk about?
I think that's it. That's all I got for today.
I don't know. Here, I showed this already.
You were going to show him something else.
Was I? No, the computer thing.
Oh, you did.
I
Okay, got that.
Yeah, I've already shown this, but I'll show it again because I haven't done a show on it yet. But
Does that fit on this thing?
I don't even know what you're pointing at. But and show.
Yeah, click. They have no idea I'm standing in my underwear. Okay, so.
Thank God he's still got his underwear on, boys and girls.
Right?
This is a shift lens, not a tilt shift lens, but a shift lens. Did we talk about this already? Did I?
I don't know if you talked about it. Yeah.
So this is a Mamiya, so 645 medium format shift lens.
It's from Italy.
And you can see here. Let's just do this. Let me go for the
Mamma Mia.
Mamma Mia. Let's go for the close up. There we go. There, that static's back. Dude, here, reach up and just touch the screen on the. Kind of touch and drag it. That triggers the. There we go. Okay, now it's focused. Zoop. So this is a shift lens.
What the?
Wow. That is a shift lens. The whole idea behind a shift lens is that you can shoot things like architecture without having to tilt the camera up. Huh. And so what you get is straight lines. Right, so you know when you tilt, the building goes, right?
Exactly.
This keeps that from happening because you don't tilt the camera up. You still point it straight forward. You raise the lens, and it raises the field of view. And I am going to do a whole show on this. Wife's messaging is probably telling you to get off the air and come home. The idea is that you point straight at the subject, you shift it, and that puts things brings them into perspective. And what's crazy, what I never understood until I actually got my hands on it, is how is it that I can lift the lens 5 millimeters here and yet raise up a 20-story building in front of me?
That's amazing.
Right, and the whole thing is that this lens, the actual it's really quite simple. The actual optics on here are broadcasting, or projecting, that's a better word, projecting a much larger field of view than you need for the given sensor size, film size back in the day. And so you are just taking that lens area and shifting it up and down. That's all it is. It's really, really straightforward.
That's awesome.
But you can rotate it. It's like, look at all these things. You can rotate it and then shift it other directions. And then this is adapted with a Kipon Mamiya 645 to L adapter. So this is adapted for my L camera, for the S1.
Wow.
So that's what that is. So I've been playing with this. I've got some more stuff to do. I've shot a bunch with it, but I am planning a show around that because I think it's a really cool topic, and it's very old school. So many things you would do in here you could do in software now, so I think that's why these aren't as popular.
Right.
But there are a lot of advantages. Like if you're going to correct perspective in software, you are cropping out a bunch of pixels. You are stretching some pixels, right? So that's less quality. But since you're cropping them, you're losing resolution, so that's not so good. But one of the other things you can do with this is you can shift to do panoramas. So instead of actually rotating the camera, you're just shifting so you have perfectly straight panoramic lines.
Wow.
Right?
Huh.
Neat, huh?
So instead of doing this.
Right, instead of pivoting, it's literally just straight side to side. Yeah. Right.
Which did nothing with the phone.
No,
yeah,
didn't.
Exactly.
But it's really cool. So I've been having fun with this. And like I said, I'm planning some stuff on this. And you can't do that kind of perspective correction in video.
Right.
Right. So, but this would allow you to shoot video with that perspective correction happening. So that's another cool thing. So yeah, it's a neat, eBay. Man.
I'm going to go shopping in here one of these days.
I know this place is crazy. There's so much.
Oh, he heard that. He's got the headphones.
I heard. Oh, I heard.
I'm trying to be sneaky over here.
Sure.
Oh, he's 2 feet away. He can't hear me.
Alenka, my wife is now watching, and she says true that is probably in response to being told to go home.
Oh, you guys are cute.
Is that what your wife said? Is that what she said?
No, I have her paddleboard in my car, and she's taken off to the lake for a ladies' weekend.
Oh, fun.
And so,
which lake?
Lake Shastina, actually.
Good. Let me know if there's no smoke when she gets there.
Right, exactly. Yeah, because we might head there myself. Yeah. No, actually, that would be horrible.
We got, guys, remember we've been saying, you know what? It's our fault.
Right, we
on
talked about
Tuesday's show, we talked about, on the podcast, we talked about what an epic summer this has been. We've had no fires, no smoke. It's been just incredible.
Gorgeous.
Last night, it all rolled in. There's a fire about 60 miles away from here, and let me see what the AQI is right now, because it was 188 this morning when I woke up.
It was 200 last night.
Was it?
Yeah.
It's about 138, 139 right now. So it's
granted,
better.
last year it was like in the purple, like
it was
almost
in the
black.
200s most of the summer. It sucked.
And
so yeah,
I mean, we saw 500s at times where it's like literally like put wet towels on your doors because it's getting in. So
yeah,
I think I heard that they were talking about just letting it burn because it's on government land, which
Really?
Yeah, because they don't want to spend the resources to put it out because it's manpower and money. They want to save it for the big fires that are not there. No fires. How about that? Just no fires. But
Interesting.
I think this one's going to go pretty quickly. I think they're going to take care of it, and we'll be back to clear skies because I got drone work to do. I have a license to get, but I have more drone work to do.
Get your license first, then the drone work.
Right. Yeah.
Wow.
Drone practice.
Excellent.
Yeah.
Yikes. Yeah, it's bad out there right now.
Indeed.
Although up at Mount Ashland, it looked pretty good. I was looking at the webcams earlier, and it looked surprisingly good.
Yeah, I actually live right at the base of Mount Ashland. If you see,
Yeah, you're about halfway between.
8 miles below this or whatever. 8 miles driving.
So let's
As
just
the crow
see.
flies.
Let's see what we've got. Yeah, see, we still got clear up there. It's remarkable, actually. Up in Mount Ashland, it looks very good. Although I'm not sure. Is this actually live? I'm not feeling these webcams because it stops. It like plays and then stops.
Yeah, so
I don't know if this is legit anymore. And the main webcam is down.
Yeah.
I don't know. Something tells me that's not real.
I mean, I'm getting
You know
internet
what? It can't
in my
be
house.
because this looks almost identical, if not identical, to what I saw earlier this morning. The sun position is wrong. Dang it. So that sucks. So it could be totally smoked in up there. What are they doing?
I hope
Mount
not.
Ashland, I rely on those webcams, guys.
Right? Exactly.
I could go open the door, but that would be...
You let the smoke in.
Yeah, exactly. We'll do
Yeah,
that.
yeah.
Okay. And Link says we look cute. Well, that is... Thank you, sweetie. Bart says, you should have taken that lens to D.C. for the Apollo 11 show on the Washington Monument. There's so many things I could and should do.
Yeah.
Coulda, woulda, shoulda, as my dad would say.
Yeah.
Coulda, woulda, shoulda.
You missed that. You missed the eclipse. You missed. You
That's because I was in Sweden.
Oh, yeah.
It was worth it.
didn't get to see the eclipse there. Didn't work on that side.
It didn't work on that side. It was broken over there. Wrong side of the planet. Did you guys see the thing where this huge asteroid, not 500 kilometers, 50 kilometers wide, some massive honkin' asteroid came so close, it came whizzing by the Earth, closer than the moon, and we had no idea that it was coming because we were blinded by the sun. Blinded by
The light. Right.
Did you know that?
I did not know.
True
that we
story.
were-
Just happened. Was it yesterday, 2 days ago, something? Yeah.
So we felt the wind on that one. Actually,
it's kind of
I guess
funny.
there's no wind in space, but
It's kind of funny because they named the asteroid 2019 OK. That's the name they gave the asteroid, which basically means, whew, we're okay on this one.
okay, we made it.
A surprisingly
That would have been. I mean, I guess we wouldn't have known. It's just, hey,
that would have been bad. Well, here
I've
I'll
been
do
sad.
this.
I
Let me,
wasn't. I wasn't drinking during that time.
Well, yeah, believe me, you would find the will.
I'm gonna text my wife really quick and tell her.
Well, you can tell her she's watching. She's right here. Where is iPhone 2? No. I got to get my presets back in order. iPhone plus main. Here we go. There we go. Okay. Surprisingly large asteroid just sneaked up on Earth, and the sun is to blame. This article is on bgr.com. What does that mean? Big, great rock? I have no idea. But yeah, that was kind of scary. And the best part of this was here. So my friend Alex Lindsay posted this YouTube video to show what would have happened had it actually hit us. So I'll just let that play in this. This is a scene from Armageddon Paris, and basically, this is the equivalent of what would have happened had that thing struck Earth. So let's be glad that it missed us by a little bit, but not by much. That's the terrifying thing.
That's a bigger explosion than
let's
Tony
see here.
Stark's.
Right. Here, the rock now named 2019 OK. So look at that, 2019 OK, that's the name of the rock. A scant 43,500 miles from Earth, which is far closer than the moon is to Earth.
So let me just get this straight. This thing's been flying at us for some time,
For some time.
but we have not seen it because we've been staring at the sun the whole time.
Well, it was coming like, if here's the sun, it was coming straight at us like this, and so
Oh.
we couldn't see it.
Right. Well, they need the app that they had on that movie. What movie am I talking about? You know where they have to go blow up the sun, or like throw a bomb at it to reignite it. Otherwise,
Oh my God.
what's the name of that?
Is this-
Solus.
The one where they sent all the old astronauts up into space because they figured if they died, it's okay?
No. This was. This had Chris Evans. Not Chris Evans. Who's the guy that plays Captain America?
Oh, yeah, him.
Captain America.
Right, it's Captain America.
He's
Cap.
in it.
Cap.
Solar. I don't know. Anyway, somebody will say it.
I don't know.
Somebody knows what
I
I'm
have no
talking
idea.
about.
But that, anyway, so we all almost died, but we didn't, so I'll drink to that.
Cheers. Strawberry-Basil.
See, now if I knew you were bringing Strawberry-Basil, I would have been drinking Basil Hayden's. Or is it Basil Hayden's?
I don't know.
Okay. Somebody tell us in the chat, is it
ask
Basil
the world.
Hayden's or is it Basil Hayden's?
You call it Basil, right?
I don't. I say Basil. But you said Basil, so I had to say Basil. That's not cool. Here, let's get back to the chat here just momentarily. Here, you can come back into. You got to remember to look down here. He's not used to this thing, so you got to remember to keep an eye down there.
Oh yeah.
So that way you know what's
Right.
actually happening. There you
I'm
go.
not used to being squished. Yeah.
There you go. Bart says, and that's not cool. It's not. We got to see the asteroid so we have enough time to get to Bruce Willis up there. See, that's what I'm talking about. The movie where he had sent all the old men up.
Sunshine, right? The movie, Danny Boyle movie was that exactly. Thank you.
Sunshine.
Oh, great movie. And thank you for reminding me because the app that they had, they could sit there in a room.
Oh, restart the sun. Oh, I remember.
And they could look at the sun
movie, wasn't it?
at like 5% of its actual
Brightness.
brightness, yeah. And then the one guy kept opening up, and he was coming in like skin falling off his face because he's getting sunburned from the actual sun.
Thanks.
So yeah, great movie. We should watch it. I'm gonna watch it again.
I might not. Is it actually good?
It's a great movie.
Oh, okay. Sounds kind of.
Almost said the F word. I was just so excited.
That's okay. It's an adult show. We're drinking today.
Right.
You can send a nuke into the sun to restart it. That
Yeah.
sounds so far-fetched. Speaking of far-fetched movies,
happen.
what was the Japanese one on Netflix, Chinese one on Netflix that I just watched? I think I actually talked about it before already. The Movable Earth? No.
I agree totally, Bart.
What is it, Bart? You got to read it. You can't just.
Oh, he's
say
saying
you agree.
really underrated Danny Boyle.
Oh, right. I'm probably not going to find it on Netflix because I already watched it. It's probably now hidden away completely. But it's the whole story, the premise of the show. It's a totally ridiculous movie. Here, let's just go back to this. But the idea is that the Earth is. Why is the Earth going to die? The Earth is going to die, and we have to get it out of there. Maybe the sun's going to explode or something. So there could be that. or not enough. So they put rockets. They build these massive rockets all over the Earth, and they literally turn the Earth into a spaceship. Spaceship Earth.
You're gonna fly the Earth around?
And literally fly the Earth into safety.
Somewhere else.
And the whole movie is actually just the very first part. They've got like an 8,000-year journey in front of them. I love it. It's very Chinese mentality in the movie. They're not like, oh, the movie is going to take place over 5 minutes and end with a happy ending. The full story is 8,000 years, or maybe it's 4,000, whatever it is. Now, this movie is only the first maybe 80 years of it or something. I forget what the duration of it is, but there's a couple times. No, it's not even that much. It's maybe it's like 20 years.
4,000 years later.
The main story arc here is they're getting the planet moving, and they get close to Saturn, and bad things happen, and they have to try and save the planet. But this is the beginning.
Your other left.
Right. But this is the beginning of this very, very, very long adventure. And just, I think that's kind of cool. You don't hear stories like that, right? I think Spaceship Earth. I think
Another life. No, that's different.
No, that's a different one. Let me just Google it. Just Spaceship. That's probably not right. Spaceship Earth. What was it called? The Wandering Earth. That's what it was. Here we go.
Okay.
This is it, guys. The Wandering Earth.
Wow.
It's awesome. And I would highly recommend if any of you watch it. So it's originally in Mandarin. You can obviously watch it with English overdubs.
Okay.
But don't. Watch it in the original language with the subtitles because it's not just in Mandarin. It's in Mandarin and French and Russian and German and English. There's a bunch of languages in there, and it feels much better when you're watching it that way. And yes, you have to read a lot of it,
Sure.
but I tried both, and I'm like, I just go back to the original.
Did that with Hidden Dragon.
It's a cool movie. It was
interesting.
I loved it. I loved it.
So in Armageddon, we could have just moved the Earth instead of trying to land on a flying meteor to blow it up.
Stupid. All we had to do is build a bunch of rockets and.
Yeah.
It's a totally ridiculous proposition, but there's probably some science behind it that says it's actually possible.
I think the thing that's blown my mind, this is a complete opposite right turn, like jumping tracks. The movie Snowpiercer is a sequel to Willy Wonka.
Oh my God, you're on
seen that
again. You've told me about this, man. You are crazy.
Willy Wonka. I mean, but the similarities. It's so great. So there's a YouTube video talking about how. Willy Wonka, the Snowpiercer is the sequel. So Charlie Buckets is the Ed Harris character. Spoiler alert for Snowpiercer. And now there's a series of Snowpiercer coming out.
Is there?
Have you seen Snowpiercer?
Oh yeah.
Okay.
Oh, it's
so
crazy.
yeah, they're talking about how
you haven't seen that.
Yeah, each person at a new train car, we lose somebody, just like we did in Willy Wonka. And so there's all these amazing related facts that it makes you think, was it? It's possible.
There's a website, right?
Perhaps.
You pointed me to this. This is years ago. You told me about this. Snowpiercer. Willy Wonka. Oops, I just start typing and it comes up. Willy Wonka. Okay, let me do this again, and there we go. So, all right, so some YouTube videos. Yeah, you probably pointed me to a YouTube video.
Yeah.
That was it.
Yeah.
Yeah, just Google that, Snowpiercer, Willy Wonka. You will find all kinds of information about it. It's interesting. I will give it that. It is. The connections are very, very good. And you can find connections in anything, but this is a lot more than you would find in most things. But it's good, and it's either way, true or not, doesn't matter. Yeah. It's a great movie.
Yeah.
I really enjoyed Snowpiercer.
Yeah, it's good.
John Roberts. Most of the movies on Showcase are sci-fi. The answer is a nuke. Right.
Right. Yeah. Just bomb it.
Late for dinner? Nuke it. Bart says they need some ND filters for their telescopes so they can see it. There you go. There you go. That's true. There's another comment on here I was going to grab. Oh yeah, Bart says pouring more drinks. I'll grab another beer. Good man. Well, you have work to do, Bart. We're done with our day. I don't know what your excuse is. Have you guys seen the connection between Avengers and The Incredibles? No. There's a great video after the snap that tries to connect them. Obviously not true, but funny.
The first Avengers, or
it doesn't matter. I'll just Google Avengers. Avengers and The Incredibles.
Incredibles.
I love The Incredibles. The Incredibles is one of the best movies ever made.
Agreed.
So good.
Agreed.
So good.
What do you think?
It's all Pixar, right?
Yeah.
Cars, the original Cars. Does it get any better than that?
I don't know. Cars 2? Just because I've seen it 19,000 times. What do you think of Toy Story 4?
Incredibles, it was okay. Incredibles, Infinity Store style. Incredibles and Infinity crossover. There we go. Fan fiction.
You had my
Incredibles.
tears at Toy Story 3, man. You didn't need them again.
Yeah. I mean, I enjoyed it enough. We took Yuri. We took our kid, our 4-year-old, and it was his first movie in the theater.
Yeah.
And he enjoyed it because it's, that was a big deal, right?
Sure.
And that was fun. But it was good.
Yeah.
But it's, and I don't know this, but I'm assuming, I hope I'm right, that this was not a true Pixar. This is a Pixar Disney movie.
Right.
Where Disney was way too involved.
Andrew Stanton was still the writer of it, so and he's Pixar. He's one of the main guys at Pixar there. So he's the one that wrote WALL-E and Finding Nemo.
WALL-E.
Yeah, WALL-E and Finding Nemo, probably the two best.
Look, let's just face it. Anything Pixar makes version 1, the first one,
yeah,
just Monsters, Inc.
One caveat to that, The Good Dinosaur.
That was not a Pixar. That was a Disney, 100%.
Right. Pixar
like Disney
name on
with
it.
Pixar's
right. And they also
that is not
released Inside Out that same year, so it was kind of a throwaway for them. So anyway.
I actually never saw Inside Out.
Decent. Yeah.
Decent.
It was good. It was good.
Okay.
Yeah.
Hey, are you doing the movie review podcast with your daughter?
If I could get my daughter over to my house, that would be awesome.
Just use Zencaster and get her on remote. Send her a mic kit. What are you doing?
That's a good idea.
He started this podcast called Popcorn and Candy?
Popcorn versus Candy. And I've done one episode talking about how I'm going to start a podcast called Popcorn versus Candy. So
the whole idea, what do you explain? It's your podcast.
Well, so my daughter, we have been watching movies, together all her life. Yeah, she's 21. She is an EMT now. That's why she's so busy, and she's, so 12-hour days, and then she's
actually saving babies. Unlike us.
Exactly. Yeah. But what I want to do with Popcorn versus Candy is have her watch the old movies that I watched growing up, like Krull. Bart Jump's going to run Time Bandits. Flight of the Navigator.
I got to go on the set of Time Bandits when I was a kid living in Spain.
Oh my God, right?
So cool.
So I want her to see these old movies that I watched growing up as a kid and have her reaction to these. The Last Starfighter, one of my favorite movies of all time, right?
So good.
So good. Dark Crystal, The Labyrinth.
Honey, if you're still watching, make Dakota watch all this because he's got to know all these movies that we're watching the rest of this weekend.
Right.
Since there's smoke out, we can't go anywhere.
You got to watch these movies.
Bad old movies.
Krull. If there was ever a movie that could be remade amazingly with the technology we have now, so cool.
The effects were so bad in that movie.
So bad. But I love the fact that all that stuff was done in the big London studio. They practical effects and stuff like that. So super cool. So I want her opinion and reaction to these movies and stuff. It's that's
a great
the plan.
podcast.
That's the plan.
That's a great podcast.
Yeah.
I can't wait for you to actually start it. Is it published now, just with the
It's
episode
on.
1?
So I have it on Himalaya. I don't have it on Anchor. Himalaya is another. I think we should get on Himalaya. We'll talk about that.
Right. You keep telling me that, and I keep forgetting.
One of the many podcast players, but so it's on there. I've started a YouTube channel. I did a reaction to the Tom Hanks movie that's coming out called "It's a Beautiful Day in the Neighborhood."
Oh, that looks good.
I couldn't hold back the tears.
That looks good.
Oh my God! Now it's funny because he doesn't necessarily look like Mr. Rogers, but his mannerisms, just the way he walks and the way he holds his arms and everything, he's like, he studied him.
Yeah.
And so he begins to blend. By the end of the trailer, I'm like, wow, okay, he's got it. Yeah, it's going to be amazing. I mean, Tom Hanks is phenomenal anyway.
Yeah,
so,
absolutely.
Through the reaction, I kept calling him Cruise, and I had to put up there, I meant Hanks, because I just watched the Top Gun trailer.
Yeah. Another great fun one coming up.
Yeah.
John Roberts says Princess Bride, best movie ever.
Right,
Changed my mind. Yeah, no, there's no change in your mind. That is a
Princess
fantastic
Bride's
movie.
Awesome.
Have fun storming the castle.
He's only mostly dead. Yeah. I mean, how many lines came out of that?
A lot. That was a good one.
Seriously.
That was a good one. Yeah. No, you're right. You're right, John. You know, best movie ever is such a ridiculous concept because there are so many best movies ever, but that is definitely on that list of you got to see it.
Absolutely.
There's no excuse.
Yeah.
Is anybody else actually still watching? I'm going to see if anybody's still here. Oh, look, we still have people. Wow, we actually gained people. Go figure. I figure by now people are
You keep
tuned out.
talking, people show up, yeah. I wanted to see Lawnmower Man. You ever seen that?
Oh my God, that's so bad.
Yeah,
Oh,
the
that
CG in that
so
was
bad.
like, at the time though, you're
Holy
like,
crap.
whoa, look at these computer-generated graphics. It's amazing.
It's like the, what's the Arnold Schwarzenegger going to Mars?
Oh, Total Recall.
Total Recall.
Yeah.
The effects in that are so bad.
Yeah, horrible.
But it's a great movie. And then they remade it, and I didn't even watch it because it got such bad reviews.
Oh, it's horrible. Yeah, it's bad. Yeah,
Just
not even a good.
Just leave it alone. Yeah, that was good. Have you seen? Okay, how do we turn into a movie show?
Yeah.
For those who have Amazon Prime, which
We'll
I
have to call this
think
popcorn versus cotton candy. I don't know.
kombucha versus whiskey.
I like that. That's a good one. Another podcast. You got it Wednesdays free.
Right? Oh, God.
I'm watching that right now. The
Are you?
Boys.
So that's what I brought
Yeah.
this up. So there's this new show.
I'm episode 4 right now.
If you're on, if you're on Amazon Prime, called The Boys, which is basically superheroes gone bad. And I think there's another superheroes gone bad show coming to Netflix. Because I remember seeing another trailer that wasn't this one. But this looks so good.
I mean, I'm the 4th one in, and it's pretty great. And it's full everything, like no holds barred.
Can I watch it with my 14-year-old son? Or is it a bit much?
No.
Oh, I already
Full
showed him
frontal
the trailer.
nudity and all that stuff.
I already showed
and
him
not
the
the girls.
trailer. Shoot.
Yeah.
I don't care about the nudity. The violence is more.
Yeah, the violence is bloody. Yeah, it's it's brutal. The superheroes are corporatized. So they are a corporate entity, and if you want your city to be cleaned up for a certain amount of money, we'll send in a superhero to do things, and then of course they can do whatever they want, right? And so this guy in the trailer, he gets his girlfriend
Dies.
Blows,
Brutally dies. Watch the
And
trailer.
If you've ever seen the movie Wanted, that character where he's kind of like trying to find his place and he's kind of meek and whatever, that's basically his character. He's trying to come out, and I'm loving it. It's super good. I'm having a good time.
Don't watch it with a 14-year-old.
I would. I mean, hey, if you showed him the trailer and he saw that blood, then why not?
I don't know. Bar says you guys start a movie podcast. I'm totally in. There you go. You're totally calling in. Oh, even better. Even better. See, look, John Roberts wants this to happen. Everybody wants this to happen.
Yeah.
Make a
okay.
podcast.
I got it. Maybe I'll just
Lazy bum.
start it doing some stuff, and then if I can get Shayla over, we'll record a few.
There you go.
Yeah.
There you go. Okay. Anything else on here? Nobody else. We got basically it's Bart and John Roberts talking. The last like 500 chats are from the same people. So.
Sipping whiskey and throwing VW bugs.
That works for me.
Yeah.
This is fun. We should do this more often.
I agree.
We should do a lot of things more often, like actually work and make some money.
Why would we want to do that? This is so much more fun.
It is. See, if people
If you guys just start doing super chats, we'd do
I was
this
just
more
going to
often.
see if we got more people doing super chats, and we'd actually make enough money to make this worthwhile. But currently, the 99 cents that came from your wallet is not going to.
Well, the great thing is I had 2 free Snapchats, or Snapchats.
What's in this? What's in this kombucha?
Getting a contact, what do you call it?
Contact drunk? Is that a possibility?
I don't know.
Wait, are you allowed to on your diet? It's just the alcohol?
Wait, this is alcohol in it.
What? No, it doesn't. With your diet, we live in Oregon. It's totally legal here, so this is not like a But can you smoke? Because it's just about
right. You know,
it's just about the calories and drinking too much.
And 3 or 4 days ago, I don't even remember, I did. Somebody handed me one of those little pens that you press the button.
The vape pens?
Yeah.
With
THC in it, and
take the fun out of it.
Well, no, it was a blast. But the problem was, I'm not good at that thing, right? So I press the button, and I'm like, I'm not getting anything. and this huge amount of smoke, and the guy's eyes go like this. He's like, "Oh, you're gonna be in trouble." And I was pretty much an invalid the rest of the evening.
That's not good.
No,
that doesn't sound fun.
I
don't smoke.
Like,
I did like in college once.
Sure.
But it's not my thing.
Yeah, I took
my wife and I keep talking about it because we're in Oregon where everything's legal.
Yeah.
We should walk into one of the shops and have a little chit chat because it's like going into the wine shop. You're like, hey, what are you eating? What kind of flavors do you like? Do you like dry or sweet? Do you like, like you can do that now, right?
Yeah,
you can walk in and like, oh, I want to feel like this.
Yeah.
I'm interested. It's
we
interesting.
can grow our own if we wanted to. You can have 2 plants. I could have 2 plants, and that's a ton of weed.
Is it?
But yeah, I mean, I guess I've seen pictures, but I get paranoid.
Back up.
I'll find myself
I've seen
in
pictures.
Right, a lot on TV once. I'll be at 7-Eleven and I'm standing in front of the microwave. I don't know how I got there, and inside the microwave is a big bag of Fritos with chili and cheese dumped in it, and I'm eating a Twinkie, waiting for it, and I'm like, how did I get here?
That sounds so good. That sounds like a scene from a movie.
Right,
exactly. You just made this up.
Totally. Yeah.
Sounds good though. Fritos and chili.
Yeah, you just open the bag,
right,
and then pump the chili cheese and in there, and then put it in the microwave, and it kind of melts it. It is nuclear hot. You got to wait for it to cool down a little bit. So that's the old days when I used to actually be good at smoking pot. I'm not good at it anymore.
Got it. Now I understand. Explains a lot, actually.
What's your experience out there in?
John Roberts, look at that. Never done it. He's like, never done it. Puts it on there.
Yep.
Never done it. You've done it. Yeah, admit it. Bart, if you want to see the Avengers Incredibles conspiracy theory, just Google Infinity War and Incredibles side-by-side GIFs Reddit. Oh, good grief. That's a lot of things.
Oh, are they?
Okay.
Now, is it the story that's similar, or they're talking about the shots are, taken from each other?
Infinity War.
Because the shots from the new Star Wars trailer and the new Top Gun trailer that we talked about in our last podcast.
Yeah, you'll have to watch the podcast to hear that one.
Right.
Infinity War's going side-by-side GIFs. Okay, got it. All right, let's see here. Let's see if this is appropriate
Reddit.
for putting up on the air. Oh, okay, I see what you got here.
Okay,
right,
yeah, side-by-side shots.
Can I,
and it
is there
happens to be
sound?
the Samuel Jackson
GIF?
character.
There's probably no sound. Here, I'll plug in the audio just in case.
Story, okay. Bart said that's the story that's similar, and the shots looks like.
Hold on, I gotta put the sound on. There may not even be sound on this, but there it is. There's the sound.
Look at all these.
I know, MacBook Pro, unmute. There it is. Okay, let's try this, and let's see. No, there's no sound. Okay.
Where is my super suit? Okay, so that's one. Are there more?
I guess just a thing flying into a building. That's not much of a comparison.
There's got to be.
There's got to be more.
I saw
Wait, is
that
that
video
just
at
one
one
thing
point, but
looping over and over again?
All I could find is this gift.
That's it. Okay, maybe there's more on here.
Careful.
Yeah, it's Reddit. Be very, very careful.
You never know what you're going to get.
We'll just unplug that just in case. That's only one scene. Come on, Bart, you got more than that, don't you? Come on.
NSFY, not safe for YouTube.
An NSFYT?
Yeah,
That's the
exactly.
Cool. Don't scroll. Bart saying, don't scroll.
Don't do it.
Stop.
Yeah.
I forgot to tell you,
You
don't
never know
scroll.
what you'll see.
All right, something tells me that we've been doing this for, an hour and a half? Are you serious?
What?
Time flies when you're
Holy
having
cow.
whiskey. My God, I should go home to my family.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I should go to an empty. Well, I have my boys at the house with Grandma,
Aw.
waiting for Daddy to get home so they can tackle me. Indeed.
Cheers to that.
Cheers.
It was good. This is good. We should do this every once in a while. Mm.
And I'll be drinking whiskey in 2020.
Yeah, don't drink all that in one place. All right,
Right.
ladies and gentlemen, thank you very much for tuning in today. That was fabulously fun. Don't forget to subscribe to the podcast.
Indeed.
Shot Talk on iTunes and all the favorite places where you find the podcast. Hey, subscribe here, hit the like button, hit the subscribe, hit all those things. It's kind of fun. Don't scroll. You should get back to work. See, we should all get back to work, Bart. You are correct. All right, guys. This was a blast. Thank you very
Super
much for
fun.
coming in.
Absolutely.
I was going to do this on my own, and I thought drinking alone on the air sounds really sad, so I'm glad you came.
It's lonely. Yeah, there's a soundtrack for that, I think, too. One is the loneliest. I'm not
on
going to
that
sing
note,
anymore.
See you later. Bye.
Bye.
Where's the end button is right here somewhere. Wait, no, that's
Click.
not it. There's somewhere. Here we go. Nope, that's not it. Here we go.
Bye.